Alright. Let me pull up the planetary real quick so that I can show you the do's and don'ts of milking a planet. Okay, so as you can see on first glance of my planet, my command center has nothing to do with where my extractor heads are. It is only upgraded to there because I only have it at command center upgrades 4. Excuse me. Um, Over here, what I have done is bought a launch pad, one basic industry, and one extractor control head. I have them on 5-day cycles, and if we turn the scanning and do this, you'll see that although there are hotspots over here and elsewhere on the planet, at one point there's more resources in this area. Now, I was at 14-day cycles, and the extractor heads would have covered this, but then most of the extractor heads would have been in the area that there is absolutely no resources. So, to me, getting a lot of minerals, or not a lot of minerals, but being able to get resources continuously from one area and to have more extractor heads in the area was than not having or better than not having any at all, or having to put several of the launch pads down. Now if we roll the planet a bit, you can see that there is another launch pad. I might come back later and destroy this launch pad and the extractor and the two basic industrial here that is taking the raw reactive gas and turning it into oxidizing compound. This planet sucks, but it's also one of the few that are in reach of my tunes in the system that I'm in, which is what I call Featherland, my R&D facility. There's an NPC station here that has everything from manufacturing all the way to invention, copying, MAPE, all that. So all my tunes are sitting here in this system. I don't have to take them all over the place to do what I want to. So I decided to set them all up here. So I have 10 characters in system milking these planets. Now, since I've swapped to 5-day extraction cycles, the extractor heads are much smaller. Now, just for the tutorial, we're going to go ahead and put this to 14-day cycle. As you can see, the extractor heads grow. Now, what also happens is this hotspot will move around on the planet. Now, do you see this graph here? How it says over the course of time, there is going to be less and less and less. Well, right here, it's going to pull more because these hotspot areas, okay, are going to have resources, and it's going to move. Okay, it might have a little less here, a little less there, but if you notice the area in the 14-day cycle, having them all spread out, this is obviously bad. It fuzzy like that, the 35% reduced due to extraction area overlap. Well, this one's 35% reduced. The other one was 20. So you have this whole huge area here where in some areas it's only this one little spot. So you didn't want that. And the extractor area is going to be like here, or it would cover this barely, and the extractor head would just barely cover it here, so I could get it here, here, here. You know what I mean? So if I drop the extractor head here in the launch pad along with the basic facility, now that I'm doing 5-day cycles, it might be better to do it here. However, it's a lot of micromanagement. I didn't want to do that. So we'll go cancel. we're going to go ahead and check this one just for the sake of things to see. This one has way too many of these, but we're going to go ahead and check here. Oh, wow. Look at that. So we turn the scanning thing different, and you can see how there are way more resources on this planet. And this is a, what is this, a 0.8? I think this is a 0.8 system, right? Yes, a 0.8 system, and I'm pulling this many resources off this planet. Then you can also go to, where is it, Noble Gas. We'll stop the extraction, and we will go to Noble Gas. Whole hell of a lot, but nowhere near where my extractor head is. So if I wanted to start pulling the Noble Gas, I would move my launch pad, my production, or the processors, and the extraction facility over here. Same thing if, and this would be where I'd want to put it, because if you see the scanning, now I know they say remote sensing, it gives you the ability to see better hotspots. Okay, great. So will doing this. And although this character's skills are, it'll pull it up quick enough. Where'd it go? Here we go. Planetology at 3, remote sensing at 3, which is just the, like, how many light years away that you can do it. And then planetology being 3, you have the ability to survey better. Well, if you're only doing 1 or 2 characters, sure. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really give a shit. Excuse my language, but there. That's without having to do all of this crap. It helps. But if you're smart enough and you can sit there and play around with this slider enough, you, even though they have skills there, if you have pilot skills, they've made it so that you can actually use your own skills as a person rather than just the skills of the pilot, with only 1 or 2 points in there, and be able to get pretty good accurate idea of what the planet has and doesn't have. So this planet here being the nearest lava planet, which is in a 0.8 as well, these are all in 0.8. The lava planet sucks, has like no silicone, felsic magma, but it has a ton of heavy metals. And you have non-CS crystals, base metals, felsic magma. Obviously there's like no felsic magma, so no matter what character I was on, I would have to do that, and I would have to find some of the better hotspots. Now this hotspot here has actually moved. This right here was the hotspot. That area right here has moved from here to there, and it actually has come about when I was doing this and checking my installed extractor heads. It showed me, and this is why I put it here, and this here, that's why the sensing, the planetology doesn't really matter. This shit moves, especially in high sec. When this shit's moving around on the planets, it'll come back over in this way inside this extractor area at some point. That's why I've been doing 5-day cycles now. None of the times will change on that. The amount you're going to get per hour will change. The total you're going to get is going to change, because this here changes. The area this is at will change. The total amount the planet has may change, but it may group up in this area later, or this area right here may always have it. Some of my characters have a ton of planetology and advanced planetology, which I would have to go through each one of them and record this screen and log in and blah blah blah, but I don't want my account information happenstancely showing up on this screen while I'm recording this, so I'm not doing that. So you just have to bear with me and see this like it is. This here, so this is another one of those ideal planets to show that it's changed. I don't have pictures or videos from when the first time I did it. I'm just showing you how this has changed from before till now. that hotspot has changed. All these extractor heads were not this far apart before. They were all over here. Most of them looked uh, like this right here. How these extractor heads are. Of course, this was me being lazy right here, rolling my planets so I could get it done in 2 hours. So, anyways, if you want to change anything, just change this. Drop a launch pad, which is 900k, one of these, which is like 75k, and an extractor. Using only one of these, if you're gonna set it and forget it, put it on a 14-day cycle. If you're gonna check it once a week, do it on a 5 or 6 day cycle. When you come back, the extractor may not have been pulling anything for a day or two, but you're going to pull more resources. And even though this may not be able to keep up with it at first, what you have is not only a way to store what you have, but you got a way to launch it off the planet. Also, when you first set everything up, that'll be covered in another video. For now, that's all you really need to know with doing all this. Alright.